If you're ready to release old version of yourself and step into the person that you are becoming, this Scorpio new moon is your moment. Let's dive in. So welcome everybody to another new moon forecast here on YouTube. My name is Luana Bossetti and I'm an astrologer, an intuitive guide here to help you bring astrology from the sky down to earth and use it in your day-to-day life. I always feel that there's so much horoscopes out there, so much new moon and full moon posts and video. But one thing that is missing out there is how you can embody this energy. Yes, it's good to know all the things, to have the knowledge, but if you don't apply in your day-to-day life, nothing changes. So my mission as an astrologer, and especially this year when I embodied my birth chart, it's to help you do the same, to help you bring astrology really in your day-to-day life so you can use it as your compass so that you can reconnect with yourself, with your truth, and create the life that you desire. And this video is all about the new moon in Scorpio. This new moon in Scorpio is coming up this week, actually tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day that it airs, on November 20th at 7:47 a.m. Central European Time, really early in the morning in the US time, 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time, and actually today, November 19th, at 10 p.m., almost 11 p.m. Western time, Pacific time. So what's this new moon about? First of all, a new moon happens when the sun and the moon are sitting together in the sky. And this new moon is in Scorpio, the water deep sign of Scorpio. So if you have a new moon in Scorpio, if you have a moon in Scorpio in your birth chart, this is your lunar return and you might feel this intensively. Also, if you have any big three in fixed sign, and by fixed sign I mean Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, these also can feel very intense. So be gentle with yourself. Also, we have been feeling overwhelmed with all the planets shifting and all the retrogrades. So this is really the time to let go of what we've been feeling and really reconnect to ourselves so we can move forward with confidence. This is a charged moon. So as I said, if you were feeling all the feelings, you are not, it's not about you. You are attuned with the universe. We have 7 planets plus the North Node in water signs. So what is water all about? It's about emotions. And emotions are energy in motion. So there are these feelings that come into your body. And if we don't tend to them, if we don't actually like move through them, then they get stuck in our body. And what happens then? We become depressed, we become suppressed, and so we feel very heavy in our body. That's why it's so important, and I always say that when an emotion comes, if you ride the wave, like if you are a surfer, you know what surf is out there, you ride the waves and then let it go. You can come back to shore in a calm way. But if you fight against the current, fight against the wave, then the water can be very rough, right? So very important in this time, in general, Scorpio season, and with all the planets in water in the sky, to really tune into your emotion and to feel them so that you can come back home to yourself and then really take the higher side of any water sign, which is intuition, to be in tune with the universe. And also sometimes we forget that Scorpio, it's a water sign because it has that like armor, like if we think about the animal of the Scorpio, but Scorpio is very intuitive, very connected with the other realm. It's also the archetype of the healer. There's no coincidence then Halloween, Samhain, the season of the witch, it's all in this season because at its core, a witch is just a healer. And normally healers are so powerful that back in the time, witches were considered evil because they could really tune into the intuition and heal people. And obviously, the patriarchal society didn't want that. The pharmaceutical industry didn't want that. So that's what Scorpio is the healer. So what's happening also in the sky during this new moon? There are some harmonious flow with the planets. So as I said, we have 7 planets um, in water sign. And with that, we have a grand trine, a triangle that we see in astrology in the sky. On one hand, we have Saturn and Neptune that are both retrograde in Pisces and really asking you to take responsibility. Take responsibility for your karma, for your dreams, and let go, release what's no longer aligned. Close that chapter, close that book, so you can start writing a new one, so you can take a different path. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the end of the cycle. So it's about release, so you can create space for something new. On the other hand, we also have Jupiter that is also retrograde, and it's retrograde in Cancer, another water sign. This is more an invitation to come back home to yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel at home? First, emotionally, physically? Do you feel at home with the people? Do you feel safe with the people that are around you? Do you feel at home in the place where you are in the house where you're in? Very important to connect to that. And then sits the triangle as 3 places. We have Saturn and Neptune with Jupiter, and then we have the Sun and the Moon in Scorpio. And next to them, there is Mercury as well, that since today is retrograde as well, and it's back in Scorpio. And this is a good time because when the Sun meets Mercury, even though it's retrograde, we have what we call in astrology a Casimi moment, a light bulb moment. It's when the veil is thin and you can really connect to the intuition. You might notice messages, synchronicities. Pay attention. This is a powerful time to tune into manifestation. First of all, it's a Scorpio new moon, very psychic, and then we have a Mercury Casimi. We have beautiful aspects in the water sign. So water, it's also about manifestation. On the other side of Mercury, we have an opposition with Uranus, reminding us that there's no mind without the body and vice versa. That's why I always say that embodiment is so important, because if you always live, as one of my friends say, from the neck up, like always in your head, but you don't tune into your body, then obviously nothing shifts. And in manifestation, we have really to feel into the body. So embodiment is so important. And that's why this is the last part of this new moon with that Uranus. It calls for intuition, witchcraft, embodiment practices to really dial up the manifestation knob and really call in the version of yourself that knows is there, that's just waiting you to call them in. And if you need some help with that, I'm hosting a New Moon Circle tomorrow on the 20th of November with another incredible facilitator and witch as well, Rachel at the Rising Goddess UK on Instagram if you want to check it out. And with this 90-minute circle, we are going to really embody this Scorpio medicine, this water medicine. We're going to help you to tune in and connect with your intuition, and then use this Uranus opposition to plant the seeds of who you are becoming, so you can really magnetize the life that you desire. I know it's a day before, so if you cannot join live, no worries, the recording will be available, and you can find the link to join in the show notes here in the comments below. You don't want to miss this, because this is really a powerful new moon for manifestation and actually to embody this energy. So a little bit more about this new moon. It's at 20 degrees Scorpio. So it's almost at the end of Scorpio. We are at the end of this Scorpio season. So make sure, as I always say, to take this with a grain of salt and just come back to your birth chart, because that's your compass. As if you know how to dive deeper into your birth chart, you can check where 28 degrees Scorpio falls in your birth chart so that you can know where you need to focus your energy under this lunation. Because as I always say, every house in your birth chart, it's a different story, it's a different chapter, it's a different energy. So when you know where the transits, the lunation fall in your birth chart, then you can really focus your energy. And with manifestation, it's very important to focus. So if you don't know how to locate that, make sure to comment so I can help you do that. But if you do that, if you know that, I'm going to go and give you the horoscopes for this new moon in Scorpio. And always, I share the video this week, I share the podcast this week, that the horoscope is not based on your sun sign. That's not accurate because the sun sign is determined by the month you were born. So shift this and instead check your horoscope based on your rising sign. Why the rising sign? First of all, because it's more accurate, because it's determined by the time you were born. The rising sign in the sky changes every 30 minutes. So even if you and I were born on the same day, but I was born 30 minutes before you, I might have a different rising sign. So that's one reason. Second reason, the rising sign really starts the house system in your birth chart. So the house system going through all the journey from Aries to Pisces, from first house to 12th house. So the horoscope that I made here and the horoscopes are based on your rising sign. And then obviously, if you don't know where 28 degrees Scorpio in your birth chart is in your birth chart, but you know your rising sign, you might know how to locate this. But if you need any help, you know where to find me at luanabossetti.com/services. You will find all my offerings there, or just comment below so I can help you with the comments as well. So from first to 12th house, if this lunation is touching your first house, what version of yourself is now emerging? What old identity you need to release so that new identity is coming up and you can step into this new chapter with confidence and clarity? If this lunation falls in your second house, which beliefs around money, value, and self-worth are you ready to let go so you can welcome in new beliefs and a new chapter of abundance and receiving? Third house, your mind and your voice might need a cleanse, might need to let go of something so you can reconnect with your intuition and create from that intuition project. There are maybe some communication projects that are coming up, so make sure to tune into your intuition and let it guide you. Fourth house, do you actually feel at home internally and externally? It's time to really stop carrying the weight of your ancestors and step into your power, your truth. Fifth house, we know that your inner child had some wounds and trauma. That's so valid. However, how can you stop let this trauma hold you back, and instead, how can you alchemize that? How can you transform that pain into purpose? Let your creativity be fueled by that. Sixth house, remember that you are not only your body. Your body is your vessel in this lifetime. So if you don't feel safe in that, it's time to soften, to reconnect with your body and bring love back to your vessels. Seventh house, are there any relationship that have reached the expiration date? Yes, you know you want that partnership, that love, that big love. But if you cannot forgive, let go of the old wounds from family, from past lovers, you may not have the space required to call in that big love. Eighth house, going deep and doing shadow work, it's so powerful. However, for you, Scorpio risings, you need to remember to come up for air. Things need to be felt so they can heal and you can transform. Ninth house, there might be some beliefs that might no longer fit in your life. It's time to rewrite your story, to expand your vision and reconnect to that big picture life. 10th house, is your career aligned with your soul or actually is consuming you? Remember that work is how you make your contribution in the world. So make this meaningful. 11th house, are the people that you're around uplifting you or draining you? Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. So be mindful, transform your inner circle, and that's how you will be able to transform your life. And last but not least, 12th house, it's about closing a cycle. This book is finished, you cannot go back. Now trust the path your soul has chosen and step forward with confidence. So these are the 12th house. Let me know if this resonates in the comment. If you want more personal interpretation, you have 2 or 3 options actually. First of all, you can book an astrological season reading where I tune into the season ahead of you. In a few days, we're going to start with Sagittarius season, so you can book already your Sagittarius season reading. I will talk about the season. I will talk about the new moon and full moon horoscopes based not only on the house, but all the different transits as well. And then if you instead want to go deeper, you can book a full birth chart reading. My calendar is open until Christmas, and then next year I will have new offering, new prices. So if you want to have a reading with me, this is the time. And then I'll give you a little bit of a ritual, but if you really want to go deeper, come and join Rachel and I for our New Moon Circle tomorrow. You can find the link in the comments, and we will love to have you there. So I have a quick, simple ritual for this new moon. I would like you to take pen and paper, connect with your intuition, and write yourself a letter that you will open on May 1st, 2026, when we will have the full moon in Scorpio. I want you to write in the present tense the life that you are manifesting, like if you were already living that life. Describe all the details, how you feel, what shifted, the version of yourself that it's there. And then once you've done with the writing, so your mind has had that turn to write down and to put it into paper, then I want to put you a song, put in an uplifting song. Close your eyes and imagine that you are already living that life. With your mind's eyes, try to really feel and also see, if you are good with that, to also see the life that you are manifesting, like you are already there. See yourself there, feel it in your body, feel all the feelings. That's really how you embody the energy and really use astrology in your day-to-day life. So hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments where 28 degrees Scorpio is in your birth chart so I can give you extra support. And if you want to know to have this in a written version, make sure to subscribe to my Dreamers letter, the newsletter that I send out every Monday with some astrology, forecast, insights, and so much more. And then every new moon and full moon, I send a moon's letter. I call it a letter where I explain all that I shared here, but in written form. So if you prefer that, go and sign up to that. And until next time, I wish you all an intuitive new moon in Scorpio. Peace and love.